All right. Peace. There's a few things that I didn't get a chance to say, and I really want to make myself clear. Who knows, this might be the last time. Maybe my kids only know me through this video, you know what I mean, or whatever. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, something else I say inspires you guys. Anyway, there's a few things about my case that I think I should clarify. Also, when I was holding those papers up, I was informed that, you know, you might have to not only pause the video to see the paperwork, but snapshot it or something like that. That's what they're doing nowadays. I've been here for a long time. I think snapshot or whatever, and then zoom in. I don't think you could just pause it and zoom in like I was saying. So also, yeah, like I was saying, now to that complaint that I had put in, they have responded. Each of these people, the detective, he said, his lawyer says that there's a time limit on fraud, basically, for you to present like a time limit as far as bringing a suit about fraud. So he said they're saying that the time limit expired and the conviction justifies the arrest. Okay, that doesn't qualify. Actually, that really doesn't qualify. There's no time limit on fraud on the court. A presentation of fraud on the court can be brought up at any time. All right. As a matter of fact, hold on for a second. Yeah. As a matter of fact, okay, I'm going to go into a little bit about my reply to their responses. I'm going to tell you the other responses. The other responses were virtually verbatim. And they were saying, they're arguing that I'm not entitled to a declaratory judgment. See, a declaratory judgment is Florida Statute Chapter 86. It covers there, and it says you're entitled to the court to tell you your rights regarding any deed, will, prenuptial agreement, any contract, any statute, anything that might have you uncertain about what your rights are. The duty of the court is to inform you of their interpretation of the law, and you have a right to ask them specifically what your rights are if you're uncertain or unsure. Okay, so they're saying that I don't have a right to this because they're saying that there's no conflict for the court to adjudicate, which is not true because, as I explained a second ago, there's no time limit on the presentation of fraud on the court. That could be brought up at any time. Also, I've been arguing these things and my innocence and my rights as a free man, because I'm a free man. Okay, you know, I'm playing chess right now, and you know, I'm going to give society the benefit of the doubt and believe that they can handle this situation. Okay, no matter the financial ramifications and implications of my being set free. All right, but basically, you know, what they're arguing is that I'm not entitled to a declaratory judgment. They really don't want the court to answer those questions that I presented, because the court is responsible for that answer. So it's going to have to answer correctly, because otherwise it's going to be a plain misstatement of law, which is going to, you know what I'm saying, demonstrate their inadequacy to judge. Or they're going to state the law properly, and I'm entitled to everything that I've asked for. Okay, so this is what they're saying, basically. When they're trying to act, basically they're asking the court to do them a favor and dismiss it with prejudice. But they're not arguing that what I'm saying is untrue. They can't present that argument without further perjuring themselves, because of the simple fact that everything that I'm saying is a fact. So Um, let me read a little bit of this. I say, first, the motion to dismiss in light of the considerable facts established by the prima facie evidence is legally insufficient and essentially amounts to the prestigious defendants asking this court to do them a favor. Granting their motion would amount to an abuse of discretion, as Black's Law Dictionary defines a dismissal with prejudice as a dismissal usually after an adjudication on the merits, barring the plaintiff from prosecuting any later lawsuit on the claim. See, they don't want me to be able to bring this up again. You understand what I'm saying? So they're asking for a dismissal with prejudice. Okay, but that would be, as you can see, unusual because of the simple fact that it's usually something that's brought up after the adjudication on the merits, and they've never denied the merits of my claim. Okay, because they can't. All right. Now they could pretend to deny it, but they really can't. Okay. Now where defendants do not refute the evidence of fraud on the court on the merits, dismissal would be unusual. Defendants have had the opportunity to request both the denial on the merits and dismissal with prejudice, but unfortunately for them, the merits cannot be overcome. So instead, they ask this court to condone fraud on the court and assert that I don't have the right to have my rights declared. This demonstrates the very character for which I bring suit. They think they are above the law. Clearly, the filing of the complaint and supplemental affidavit in conjunction with the defendant's adverse stance toward my requested relief qualify as a pending controversy. A dispute exists between the facts and the law, and the process demonstrated by these officers of the court and law enforcement, which is on its face contrary to multiple Florida statutes, along with both the Florida and U.S. Constitution, as well as my demand of relief. As defendants have noted, I have been incarcerated for more than 12 years, and with the prima facie evidence I have provided, it goes undisputed that my incarceration results from fraud on the court, thereby substantiating my expressed insecurity and uncertainty regarding my rights. Also, there is no time restriction on the presentation of fraud on the court. I have received no relief. The controversy still exists. They deserve no protection. See, they're asking for the court to protect them based on their positions and so forth. Now I'm going to quote a little case law. The test of the sufficiency of a complaint in a declaratory judgment proceeding is not whether the complaint shows that the defendant will succeed in getting a declaration of rights in accordance with his theory and contention, but whether he is entitled to a declaration of rights at all. Okay, this is Wildflower versus St. John's River Water Management. Okay, but anyway, now this quote is basically saying it's not about whether or not I will win, you know what I'm saying, that entitles me, if I'm right, that would entitle me to a declaratory judgment. The declaratory judgment can be made in my favor or against me. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't really have to, as long as there's a controversy for them to adjudicate, I'm entitled to a declaratory judgment. All right? Now, to seek a declaratory judgment, there must exist some justiciable controversy between adverse parties that needs to be resolved for a court to exercise its jurisdiction. Okay, and that's basically what I just said just there. The dismissal of declaratory judgment's actions is reviewable as a dismissal for failure to state a cause of action. In the instant case, the cause of action is stated clearly for virtually 9 pages of the notarized complaint. You see, basically the only way they could have dismissed this declaratory judgment is if I'm not presenting a cause for them to act upon. And clearly I have. Okay, now, a clause that gives them jurisdiction, which is, okay, a controversy, somebody who would benefit, or, you know what I'm saying, and somebody who would lose, basically, which would be, you know what I'm saying, in my opinion, the defendants, because I'm the plaintiff in this part. This is why I brought it as a civil suit. I wasn't getting any justice as far as the criminal system that they have here. And it's like interchangeable corruption. No matter where I go, I'm running into somebody. I mean, there's so many things I'm getting ready to tell you. Okay, but let me break down a little bit of what a summary of Florida Statute, Chapter 86, 86.011. The circuit and county courts have jurisdiction within their respective jurisdictional amounts to declare rights, status, and other equitable or legal relations, whether or not further relief is or could be claimed. No action or procedure is open to objection on the ground that a declaratory judgment is demanded. See, I have the right to demand a declaratory judgment because this is the purpose of the courts, okay, to clarify the law and issue justice, pertaining to the laws that apply to the situation. Okay, now no action or procedure is open to objection on the ground that I do that. Okay, whether or not I can give relief. Okay, 86.021, any person claiming to be interested or who may be in doubt about his or her rights under an instrument in writing may have determined any question of construction or validity arising under such. Okay, I forgot how you claim when you put like 3 periods back to back. There's a special word that I'm not familiar with. Somebody enlightened me to it a few days ago, and I still don't remember. Either way, it's basically I skipped a lot of things and got to the part that I think is most pertinent, just to keep everything concise. Okay, as you can see, I write much better than I speak when it comes down to this type of thing. Because I get more time to be more deliberate. Okay. 86.101. Its purpose is to settle and to afford relief from insecurity and uncertainty with respect to rights. This is the purpose. And I'm uncertain and insecure about my rights after the treatment that I've had. Like as I said, I've been in here more than 13 years. Okay, and I've been right from the beginning. I wasn't supposed to be arrested in the first place. Actually, I would be considered the victim under the law. Okay. And I would have been considered a hero. I probably would have been sitting on Oprah or Ellen being interviewed if I was a Caucasian man and these had been 5 black dudes. I probably would have been like, how does it feel to survive the attack? How does it feel to save your wife, your woman from being kidnapped and all this type of stuff? I've probably been, running around, from show to show. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. 86.111. The existence of another adequate remedy does not preclude a judgment for declaratory relief. Okay? Now, that means that despite the fact that there might be other avenues that I could take, this can still be applied for, and I'm still entitled to this. Okay? Declaration of my rights. Okay? And they're pretty much pissed off about that. Okay, I've been through a lot. As I explained, there's a website that my mother put up, and it has all my transcripts and everything that I've argued since direct appeal. It has all my transcripts from the trial. Everything that I put in the courts is basically reflected there. But you know what? These people are so connected. They got people that hack into the website. We've had GoFundMes and stuff like that never got a dollar outside of certain people in my family who went through all kind of hardship to put money on their account. You know what I'm saying? There was also there's some way that there was a email address that my mother put up, and it doesn't even have my government name on it. But when you look it up, it has my government name on it, and when you look up my government name, and who this person is, it has a Caucasian man that lives in Mexico or something. So it makes it seem like, this is some kind of con or whatever. You know what I mean? That they've done so many different things. We had the NAACP tell my mother numerous times that they was going to help her. You know what I'm saying? And they backed out. They just stopped returning phone calls. Even not long ago, the Ben Crump firm. You know what I mean? These people are well connected. They're using their resources. They're hiring people. I even believe that they manipulated the conditions of my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when it comes down to my ex-girl and my kids. You know what I'm saying? There's people who know exactly the type of people that you would be around in life, and they'll, to prevent you from being successful or to get leverage on you, they'll set you up, and you'll think that it was all your plan to be with this person or to be around this person. You know what I mean? I mean, it's it's a very deep game, especially when you play with people who this is what they're not direct. They're not the type of people that'll come at you and you know, confront you. You know what I'm saying? They're very subliminal. Okay, now I don't get an email. I mean, that website got over 2 million visits. I never got one letter. I've had multiple people petition to free me, or sign petitions to free me. You know what I mean? Even the dude George Norrie from Coast to Coast, and a bunch of CBS radio people, and Coast to Coast AM people, and a bunch of people from the Florida bar. I mean, matter of fact, no, I'm not even going to go through all that because some of them want to remain anonymous. But I'm gonna put it like that. George Norrie passed away, so that's why I used his name. Okay, it's like this. They've been blocking that from receiving signatures, making it very difficult for people to sign up. People thinking that they signed a petition, and then months and years later they find out that their name never popped up on the petition. You know what I mean? You know, I never got one piece of mail. We've had advertisements for this case in Dawn Diva magazine, even the National Enquirer. You know, the website, like I told you. Most people put up a little Facebook page and they get a whole bunch of mail from people who are interested, you know what I'm saying, dealing with them. Excuse me for a second. So, you know, this is very deep. Even when I went to the feds on a 2254 after my direct appeal, there was a clerk of court who took 15 pages of my argument out of my argument. She took out my prosecutorial misconduct argument, my prosecutor misconduct argument, and my part of my jury instruction, improper jury instruction argument. You know what I mean? And my mother actually had to threaten to call the FBI for them to put those pages back. First they said they didn't fit. But if it's 118 pages, why are you taking out page 75 through 90? You know what I mean? This is what I'm dealing with. Okay, so the federal judge denied me. He denied. Let me give you an example. He denied my selective application of the stand your ground law argument, based on the fact that he says that my ex-girl Deanna, who I used to call Jeannie, said that these guys were black. How do you deny that argument based on something that you know is not a fact? First of all, they tricked her in the first place, because in her original police statement, now she grew up in the system, she's terrorized by this type of situation. In her original police statement, she said that they all wore black, right? Because they were all wearing black, and they'll take off their shirts and they'll have like tank tops under that, and they was fighting me and stuff like that, but they all were wearing black. So she said, oh, they all wore black. Now when they present a whole nother unsigned version of the police statement at the trial, I'm looking at it, I'm looking at one that's signed by the detective, and I'm looking at the one that's not signed, and I'm like, hold up, this is two different police statements. How do you have two different police statements? And I had told her, I said, listen, just stay calm and tell them whatever you told the police. Now they had where she said that they all wore black. They all were black, not wore black, but were black. So she agrees because she doesn't want to seem like she's lying. So they said, and so she said, well, if that's what I said, that's what I said, right? You know what I mean? This is my baby now. I'm not mad at her at all. You understand what I'm saying? I know that she been through hell when she was younger, you know what I'm saying, as a young woman, and you know what I'm saying, she was wild and all that type of stuff, but we were both out there, you know what I'm saying? So all that's there, ain't no hate there, you know what I'm saying? So even though she hasn't been there for me at all during this time, you know what I'm saying, she fought that night. She got out that car and fought and stood in the paint, you know what I mean? So you know, they was trying to get her, she's bumping, all right? Anyway, man, so it's like this, you know what I'm saying? this is what they use to deny my selective prosecution argument. You understand what I'm saying? It's crazy when you can see clearly that these people throughout the whole time are referred to as white or Hispanic. Okay. Also, he says that I hit the dude Andre Blanco with a punch that was actually a stab. How can you do that? That means that there's a reasonable doubt. You're taking away my right to defend myself and giving me a life sentence based on something that you say that this guy says he was stabbed. Okay, now if he's saying that he was stabbed and I'm saying he was punched, how are you going to take away take my statement and twist it? Okay, obviously there's a reasonable doubt. So, you know what I mean? Then when I try to get a COA, which is a certificate of appealability from the 11th Circuit, the judge there does something extraordinary because according to Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court law, when somebody denies your application for appealability on the merits, that's basically granting you an appeal without jurisdiction, because your appeal is supposed to be heard by 3 judges. Okay? So this guy says that my case can't be seen on appeal, and he tells on the merits, oh, there was no prosecutorial misconduct, there was no this, there was no that. Okay, if you're saying that, then you're giving me an appeal by yourself. You don't have that right. What you're supposed to do is say, hey, okay, if what you're saying is true, then you're entitled to relief. Now, if what you're saying is true, you will be entitled to relief, then you have a case that should be brought up to 3 judges in the 11th Circuit, because that's the one that oversees Florida and Georgia and I think Alabama or whatever, something like that. And you know what I'm saying? I'm entitled to that procedure. Okay, he just denied everything on his own. And then I try to go to the United States Supreme Court, and you know, of course, they're too busy. You know what I'm saying? My case is not, was not a hot topic as far as they're concerned, or something that they felt, because you know, they might get 6,000 cases, only look at 60 of them a year, because there's too many of them. They expect the courts to do right, the lower courts to do right. So that's why they give them the laws and the orders that this is the procedure to follow. And you know what I mean? It's just a big burden. Anyway, but I've been dealing with this type of thing for a long time. All right? Let me go into some other things. You know what I mean? Because the way that they tapped them, they be messing with my mother's phones, all kind of stuff. It's just ridiculous. It's almost unbelievable. Okay, so anyway, man, I want to go back to this little history lesson that I was giving people. You know what I'm saying? And especially the youth. You know what I'm saying? I want them to understand. You know what I'm saying? Why they should have pride in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? The power of suggestion. See, let's say you got all these police driving around your neighborhood, and you walking around, and you're upset. You got troubles at home, and they look and they see you 8, 9 years old. That boy's gonna be in trouble when he gets older. But in their neighborhoods, when they drive by, they say, "Hey, Tommy, you all right? Tell your mother and your father I said hello." Stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? They're looking to help their people, but they're not looking to help us. They're looking to label us. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the way that they're trained. They're trained to have no understanding. They don't even know how to begin to think otherwise, and they're scared and intimidated, even officers, to apply reason and compassion. Okay, they're not. You'll see a guy argue and fight with a police officer, and he might be a man of another race, but if he's a black man, he's going to get shot. Just the way it is. They actually believe that there's some big difference besides complexion. You know what I'm saying? There's 16 shades of black. My mother, she's gonna kick my butt because she hates when I say this. But my mother, but I'm saying it because most people can relate to this. My mother's high yellow. You know what I'm saying? I got a picture of Jennifer Lopez in a magazine when she looks almost exactly like my mother did when she was younger. You know what I'm saying? So now I show my mother. Okay, anyway, we gonna go. Let me get back to this. Okay, check it out. So, and my mother's all black on both sides of her family. I have like 3 other people in my family who are high yellow like that. Okay. Anyway, check it out. what I was saying about what we're entitled to. You see, you got companies that were built and became multi-million-dollar companies in the 1800s, 1700s, on the backs of slaves. Okay, now these slaves didn't reap the benefit of that. How can you be equal if you don't get the benefit of the labor that you put forth? Okay, there was the 40 acres and a mule thing that came about, and they actually allotted 400,000 acres to former slaves, which, you know, at 40 acres, that and a mule, you know what I'm saying, probably basically would have been given to about 40,000 slave families. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that would have been a foothold on our, you know what I'm saying, improvement. You see what I'm saying? But after Lincoln died, Andrew Johnson revoked that order. It was Special Field Order number 15. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that was another robbery. You see what I'm saying? These people had already been basically granted this. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's been no substitution for that. There's been nothing equivalent. Okay? You know, our tribe was decimated. You know what I'm saying? Basically, we should be entitled to reservations as well, like Indians. You understand what I'm saying? How the Native Americans were given some sort of respect for the tragedy that became of them when they sent all those criminals over here to and they ravaged the land. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And I mean, their standards and morality was, you know what I'm saying, it was just poor. Okay? So, you know what I mean? This is what I believe. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors were the only people brought here against their will. If you kidnap somebody and take them to heaven, they wouldn't trust heaven. You know what I'm saying? And this has been far from heaven. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that it's like a catch-22 for us. You know what I'm saying? So we grow up going to school, this, that, and the other, man. All right, now let's say me, I'm at school, I got a best friend, he's a white dude, man. We both in class together. Now, we start learning about American history, and then slavery comes up, okay? It's gonna affect me and him different. He might say, man, I would never do that to my slaves, or I would have freed my slaves, or whatever, okay? And he can go with a good conscience, you understand what I'm saying? But me, at my age, I know I went through this for a long time. It made me very upset and doubtful, and I didn't understand, and basically almost ruined my academic career in elementary school. You know what I'm saying? Just imagining and thinking about this, you know what I'm saying? And it affects us differently. You see what I'm saying? So then you see, oh, he got ADD, he can't pay attention. Oh, I'm paying very close attention. It's just some things are striking a nerve much deeper than other things that you're trying to implement. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, how can we be free when we basically have no say in the law? You know what I'm saying? And they're made without consideration to our culture or our circumstances. Police are trained to invade with no understanding. They just invade us. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I want this to be understood too. You know what I'm saying? So that I want not just African Americans to understand it. I want all people that's American to understand this. You know what I'm saying? I want them to consider what they run from in their brain. They don't want to think about it. They want to say, oh, this is an issue that should be in the past and left in the past. It's not left in the past for us, okay? If it was left in the past, then we would be able to, right now, if you think about it, you got men that are worth, American men that are worth $100 billion. You don't have one African American man who's worth a tenth of that. And you know why? It's because we've been robbed. Okay, not only robbed during slavery, but after, with the negotiation of contracts, stuff like that, bullied, you know what I'm saying, terrorized off the land, you know what I mean, okay, yeah, and a lot of people say, oh, well, you know, we have all kinds of critics. Oh, we have people from other countries say, oh, we fought for our freedom, this, that, and the other, like, you know, do you really know how many millions of African American slaves actually died in rebellion? You see, you don't know because of the simple fact that back in the days they used to have this saying, excuse me for a second. All right, excuse me. You know, many of them died. Many of them died in rebellion. They have an old saying, the revolution will not be televised. That's what that was about. The fact that they're not going to promote the fact that people have actually rebelled and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You had thousands of African Americans who died in the Civil War fighting for their freedom. Okay, now we right now are considered to be about 12% of the population. We were always the minority. See, in them countries where other people were successful and under those type of circumstances, they were the majority. Okay, here we always been the minority. So I respect the fight. I respect those who did not fight because of the simple fact that their families were held hostages. You got women and children who are going to be abused because this man fought and rebelled. So he decided, okay, well, my brother fought and rebelled, then he fought that way. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to take the licking on my back so that my family, so that my women and children can be protected and not abused, okay, to any more than they already are. You understand what I'm saying? So it's much more complex than people would like to view it, okay? And I'm not going for that, okay? Oh yeah, the fact that Africans were sold into slavery. See, that right there, the conditions of slavery were unheard of the way it was being implemented in America. So when, let's say I'm a king, and we got these people that come on a boat, and they come to this land, and they surrounded by my people. Now they raggedy, looking sick, the boat done tore them up, all kinds of stuff, and they come with all these trinkets, not that they made so much, but that's coming from all different places all across the world. Spices from India, all kinds of things from China and all this type of stuff, you know what I mean? And they come and they say, hey, look at this, man. And I'm a king, and I sit here and I say, yeah, you know what? Y'all talking about all this gold and all these things that you guys got over there. I got a nephew. Now this nephew is such a strong man that he's even intimidating my son who's to be the next king. I might say, hey, yo, take my nephew over there. He gonna make a name for himself and come back. I'm expecting him to come back. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I was just putting him into slavery, okay, under the harsh conditions that have been found out about, then my people would have killed me. Then I'm not gonna be no king giving away my people in that type of condition. Okay, the whole thing is they wasn't even putting them in shackles and stuff like that probably until they got them miles and miles away, and then they tricked them and they realized they was tricked. Okay, and most of them, it was considered called men, but they was 14, 15. Nobody wants a 20-year-old man, a 19, 18, 20, 30, 40-year-old man that's